Hello. Today I want to share with you 8 steps to building a financial empire. And we're going to see what the scripture says about building that financial empire. Do you want to build a financial empire? Well, stay tuned. So we're going to take this from 2 Kings chapter 4, and the story is about a woman who had sons, and she went to the prophet Elisha, and this is what she said in verse 1. Your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, but the creditor has come to take my 2 children to be his slaves. So, step number 1, admit where you are. Admit where you are. So you see, this widow, her husband was dead and she owed a lot of money. Now she came to the prophet and confessed her situation. So she admitted where she was, right? Now, in step number 2, ask what you want to do. So when somebody comes to you asking you for information, ask them, what do you want me to do? Right? What have you done? And what do you have? So let's pick this up in verse 2. And Elisha said to her, what shall I do for you? Tell me, what have you in your house? And she said, your maidservant has nothing in the house except a jar of oil. So, you may be going through some situations right now, and you're wondering, what can I do? Right? Now here, the scripture is saying, what do you have? What do you have? What can you do? What do you have? Right? So don't underestimate yourself. You have something that is valuable to someone else. So, what do you have? Now, step number 3 is borrow as much money as you can. Now, when you hear that, you may say, borrow as much money as you can. You may be saying, wow, borrow as much money as I can, but I'm in debt, right? So here's what verse 3 says. Then he said, go outside, means to go outside of your house, borrow vessels of all your neighbors, empty vessels, and not too few. That means she should borrow as many as she could so that she could have them to use. And that seems counterintuitive, right? Yeah. Here she is in debt, and the prophet is saying to her, borrow as much money as she can. But let's hear the rest of the story. So step number 4 is start a family business. Start a family business. So in step number 4, it says start a family business. It says, verse 4, it says, then go in and shut the door upon yourself and your sons, and pour into all these vessels, and when one is full, set it aside. That means she was to go and fill up all her bottles with what she had. Now she had some oil. Remember, in verse 2, the prophet asked her what did she have. So she said she had a jar of oil. Now she was going to pour that out in the empty vessels so that they are filled up. So when you start a family business, you should put your children to work in that family business. right? And remember, we are creating a family financial empire. And we can do that by involving our family who wants part in this vision, right? Now, part number 4, step number 5 is to move quickly, move fast. So in verse 5 it says, so she went from him and shut the door upon herself and her sons, and as she poured, they brought the vessels to her. So she immediately began to pour into the vessels. Now, step number 6, sell the oil. Sell the oil. And we see that in verse number 6 of 2 Kings chapter 4. When the vessels were full, she said to her son, bring me another vessel. And he said to her, there is not another. Then the oil stopped flowing. So move on to verse 7. She came and told the man of God, and he said, go, sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on the rest. So sell the oil. Sell the oil. And you know that selling is serving at the highest level. Selling is serving at the highest level. And we do see in Proverbs chapter 11 verse 26, do not withhold the corn. What that means, if you have something that is of value to other people, don't withhold it. You go and sell it, because selling is the highest level of service. Step number 7, pay your bills, and that is verse 7, where it says, go sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your son can live on the rest. And that is step number 8, live off the rest. So let me recap this session of how to build a financial empire. Step number 1, admit where you are. Step number 2, ask people what they want to do. Ask them what have they done? Then ask them, what do they have? What do they have in their current possession that they can use to help somebody else? Step number 3, borrow as much as you can. Borrow as much as you can. Step number 4, move fast, move quickly, because urgency is important in order to get out of any adverse situation, right? Step number 6, sell the oil. Sell what you have invested in so that you can reap a profit and you are able to pay your bills. That is step number 7. And then in step number 8, live off the rest. So I hope you enjoyed these 8 steps on how to build your financial empire. And please remember to share this video with your friends. Like it and subscribe for more videos. And remember to select the bell icon, the notifications, so you know when we have more interesting videos coming out. Thank you.